Right, welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya from that candid conversation right there with the SG Jubilee. That is Jeremiah Kioni. We now come back to studio and talk about health conversations surrounding eye care. We want to dissect everything that you need to know about eye care treatment, the diagnosis, the cost, just basically everything that you need to know about eye care and eyewear. And my guest in studio this morning will be helping us unpack and understand all of that. I'm joined by Roseline Kilonzo. To my extreme right, she is the expansion manager at Lapaire East Africa, which is an eye care company. Right next to her is Oliver Mwanko, who's the PR and communication officer at the exact same company. Lady and gent, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Doreen, for having us.
Welcome again. Let's start with understanding Lapaire, as it has been involved in extensive research when it comes to eye care and eyewear in this country. But what exactly is Lapaire and what does it do?
Well, Lapaire is a Pan-African group organization revolutionizing access to eye care in Africa by giving everyone the chance to see well without breaking the bank. So what I mean, like the goal for Lapaire is not only to be a profitable organization, but only to make sure that lives of people, of Africans, are improved.
I like that, without breaking the bank. Clearly they're showing you that the cost of eye care is not one easy thing, is no mean feat. What are you doing different, Roseline, at Lapaire? Because I mean, we have so many treatment companies, just like you're saying, cost of treatment, eye care treatment in this country is not that cheap.
Right. What we're doing differently is that we are offering access to free vision tests. So the eye screening at Lapaire is done for free. Like Oliver said, we're really trying our best to make sure that everyone in Africa has access to affordable eye care. And not just affordable, but also quality eye care. So we do the test for free. And anyone that needs glasses, they can get them at very affordable prices, starting from 3,400 Kenya shillings. And that's covering the full package, frames and lenses together. And then in addition to that, we also offer an installment payment, Lipa Mdogo Mdogo, which has become very popular among Kenyans right now. And yeah, it's proved to be a very useful, tool to help people purchase glasses. Yeah.
So you're just trying to make it easy for Kenyans to be able to afford the cost of eye care.
Basically, yes.
Even with that Lipa Mdogo Mdogo.
Yeah.
Walk us through the history of Lapaire, because it began in Kenya. It's, expanding its borders to different parts in the East African section of the African continent. So basically, how did it start before it became expensive?
Lapaire is a vision, is a dream by Jerome Lapaire, which literally accumulate the same name as the company. So the guy is a Switzerland national, and while in Kenya, so he was working for he's an advocate, he's a lawyer by profession. So working in Kenya, he found out that most of his colleagues were struggling with vision but couldn't afford them. So literally, and he went into research and literally found out that 550 millions of people in Africa are in need of glasses, but only 1% of that number literally have access to it. So that literally pushed the vision to making eye care accessible and affordable for everyone.
You're really talking about the numbers and the figures, and those that can be able to access treatment, those that can be able to access glasses, or those that can be able to do that. There's a recent research, which was actually data provided from your company, that showed 750,000 Kenyans have severe visual impairment, and 224,000 are actually blind due to causes that can either be cured or prevented. What do you make up of such kind of data? Because again, it shows that it's perhaps going to increase as we move forward.
It's actually increasing, and the number is actually is estimated by the Ministry of Health. It's 7.5 million Kenyans are suffering from reduced vision, and they don't have access, or they haven't basically accessed the solutions for these problems. It's a problem really that is there in Kenya, such a big number of people not being able to access the services that they need. And some of the reasons associated with that is, first of all, the cost of the glasses. Glasses can be really expensive, prescription glasses. You know, can find a pair going for 15,000, 30,000, or even more. And another problem is convenience. Convenience in terms of where do they access these services, right? There's some awareness lacking in terms of where to get the services, because yes, there's very many optical shops, but as you know, Kenyans, we have an issue with trust. We need to make sure that we are getting the best services that we can get. So that is a problem. Convenience and cost have been some of the biggest causes of that big number in Kenya.
I feel like you've really raised very pertinent issues, particularly when it comes to those figures and numbers, and this is aligned to awareness and trust. Like you've said, there are many optical shops, and there's just those ones that we feel like we trust. Huyu akiniangalia kidogo kidogo nitakuwa sawa if I'm not going to be okay. But let's talk about that awareness beat. Given that you also are in that space of PR and communication in this particular company, what are you doing in your capacity? Because the way we are saying, even looking at those figures, that they are rising and they're expected to rise even as we continue moving forward. As it pertains to awareness, what are you doing?
Well, since the genesis of Lapaire, let me say that we found out that many Africans do not know how to take care of their eyes, or do not know what it takes to take care of their eyes. Literally, it is advised that each and every person visit at least once an optometrist or an eye care specialist. So many Africans do not do that. Even myself, I couldn't do that before.
You work there, but you don't do that?
No,
oh, this was before.
I used not to do that before joining Lapaire and getting to this particular industry and understanding the need of taking care of thy eyes. So when it comes to awareness, Lapaire started as a company that's providing eyeglasses for community, for let me say companies, and so it was a kind of a B2B. And then now that we are into retail and getting closer to the people, we are conducting engagement talks, community speaking as well. So literally we're going to campuses, and students nowadays are studying facing computers or studying from computers and stuff, and they're exposed to different kind of blue lights that comes with the computer, and with the sun in Africa, many people are actually affected by the UV coming from the sun and all that. So getting into campuses and churches and community to talk about eye care, not to sell, not to do nothing, but just educate, just create that awareness for someone to know what kind of food maybe they could eat that will help them, fight better, different, prevent any type of, eye defect in the future. And I think that is the most important mission given to me at Lapaire.
What has that reception been like, seeing that it's not one of those things that is also done by most optical companies or optical shops?
Because, it's the mindset. When you open or you run an organization with the mindset of making money, you won't make so much impact. But Lapaire runs with the vision of helping people, helping people to achieve what is best for them. And let me say that. And literally, with the data that we have in our disposal, we have managed to literally test the eyes of more than 60,000 people across Africa, which is a good win for a young and a company that is revolutionizing access to eye care, literally just helping people see better. And I think that's the most important mission that I can even think of myself.
Well said. Roseline, there's a part that Oliver mentioned that it's very important to go for those frequent eye checkups, and he said that before he even joined this company, he didn't used to do that, just trying to show us that we don't consider it as important. Up until he realized by there I can't see far, I can't see near, sort of like the sun affects me. That's when you feel like, okay, now let me start going for the checkups. But what is the importance of just frequently going for those checkups, whether or not you feel you have an eye problem?
It's quite important, actually. Eyes are very important.
Oh, yes.
Sight, very important. right? The same way, you know, we visit the dentist regularly, the same way we go to see our gynecologist regularly, that's the same. Like, we should make that a habit as well for our eyes. Not necessarily because we think we have a problem or, you know, like we need glasses or something like that. Just go in, see your eye care professional, and have that test done. Especially for people who are suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure. They're predisposed to the conditions that basically can make their vision reduced. And for them, especially, I recommend at least even twice a year. For regular people, you know, who does not have any of the lifestyle diseases, you can go at least once a year. But if you're suffering from diabetes or hypertension, check with your optometrist, your eye doctor, at least twice in a year.
What conditions are this? Expand a bit further, because I feel like this was sort of like a new information to me, that for people that are exposed to some of these lifestyle diseases, then they're more predisposed to having eye care problems. So which conditions are this particularly?
Mostly it's diabetes and hypertension. Mostly those two are the most common ones when it comes to affecting your vision.
Why? What is the linkage?
There's a lot of...
Just for better understanding, yes. Because you see, someone might be thinking, okay, perhaps they have hypertension or diabetes, but they didn't think there's any linkage to that affecting my eyes. So what is the linkage?
Actually, there is. So in diabetes, for example, when your blood sugar is either too high or it's too low, your vision will become blurry. And this happens from time to time, depending on your blood sugar. You get?
Yeah.
And so, of course, in addition to seeing your general practitioner to advise on how what you need to eat, or the kind of medication you need to take to manage your diabetes and hypertension, you need to see your eye doctor as well, so that they can advise on how the diabetes is going to affect your vision, because it does. And when that happens, then you need glasses that can help you to be able to see clearly. Yes.
What about hypertension?
Hypertension as well. I'm not a doctor, first of all, let me start by saying that.
Yes.
I'm just a business person. I would prefer that
to be
being answered by an actual professional, because I want to get into anything that I may not be able to explain.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, now let's come to those causes, Oliver, that perhaps would affect our eyes, because some would say that perhaps if my dad used to wear glasses, there's a possibility of me wearing glasses. Like for me, where I come from, both my dad and mom actually wear glasses. None of us has ever had like a serious eye problem, but just gets to a certain age where you sort of like your eyes can't quite see clearly. So is it genetic? What are some of these causes that lead to either short or long-sightedness, or basically the entire eye problem?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, the genes went to the genetic perspective. I think it is also important that to note that 20% of at least of the genetic rendered by vision or can trouble vision as well. So when your parents wear glasses, you have 20%. Let me say 20%
of getting an eye problem?
20% of getting facing the same problem as your parents, and that's one point. And the other causes of the most common eye defect, maybe it's short-sightedness, short-sightedness. So meaning myopia, and myopia is when you can't see far, and you can only see well when things are near your parameters, let me say that. And then there is long-sightedness, which is presbyopia, for people who actually can't see near, but they all can see far. Those kind of defects, presbyopia, occurs to people who are above 40 and above. You literally find out that our parents, or maybe someone that is of that age, before reading a journal or maybe a newspaper, will or maybe manipulating their phone, we literally just push it a little bit farther to see better. So those are the most common defects that we face currently when it comes to eye care in Kenya.
And also age has the contributing factor.
Yes, age is also a contributing factor. But nowadays, everyone can get it, simply because with technology in the 21st century, we are dealing with screens all over. So there's no one you know, in developing country and face, you know, pass a day without even being exposed to any screen, you know. Even when you're walking in town, there are still screens, literally. So our world is turning around screens, and that is also accumulating and multiplying the numbers of people, like literally who are, you know, are facing, you know, the eye defect challenges.
Roseline, when someone walks to your institution and they really telling you that for some reason or based on this number of days I've not been able to see well, or my eyes are just itching over time, or sometimes they turn red, like for me sometimes they just turn red all of a sudden, what is the first step for this person before they get the treatment, before they get the glasses? Because some also get eye drops depending on the defect or how far it has reached. Right.
The very first thing is to understand the patient's history, the customer's history.
So it's not just attacking the problem from...
It's not just attacking the problem, you know, head on from what has been presented to you. You have to understand if it's red eyes, for example, when did that start? How did that start? What were some of the conditions that you were exposed to when that started? You need to be able to understand that to be able to explain to the person, your eyes are turning red because of 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's dust. Maybe it's some sort of other allergy. Maybe you've been using your computer for too long without any, you know, protection for your eyes. So the first thing to do is to understand the history of the person. What are some of the conditions they've been exposed to get the kind of condition that they have at the moment. You mentioned earlier something about genetics being involved in you know, someone's eyes. So we also ask, we also need to understand, do any of your parents have, do they wear glasses? What kind of glasses do they wear? Do they have any of the lifestyle conditions? Because then that also helps us if you are also predisposed to getting any of these conditions, and then we can help you from there. So that's the very first thing we do.
So what usually happens, and you know, I largely speak from experience because clearly,
as we can see,
what usually happens, this is someone who's clearly having that problem. Yeah, they're either wearing specs or contacts, depending on the kind of treatment they've been prescribed. But even at that, sometimes they will still feel their eyes itchy. Like I said, they will still, their eyes sometimes will turn red. They'll just be constantly touching their eyes. What usually happens, because at this point you are on treatment.
You are on treatment.
You're basically sort of like supposed to be okay.
Yeah, not exactly, because there is the eye defects that Oliver mentioned. There is the short-sightedness, the long-sightedness, the presbyopia in them, and then there is allergies. So yes, you might be wearing glasses to correct your short-sightedness, but you're still allergic to dust or something else. You get. So you, in that case, you might find yourself using both glasses and eye drops. The glasses to address your short-sightedness, and then the eye drops to address the allergies. Yes.
So you can actually be getting some of these challenges even at it.
Yes, you can.
All right, you had talked about foods earlier, and I want us to just dive into that a bit, because like, again, when you looked at those figures and numbers, it shows that most of these people that face this eye care problem, it could have been prevented instead of just going to the entire treatment altogether, which could really be costly. So what foods are this that we are talking about that could help people?
For what I've been also advised, I think the best food is going into, you know, fruits. Fruits play a very major role when it comes to, you know, helping to clear your eyesight, I mean. And then we have fish as well, that will literally also contribute in terms of making your eyes a little bit stronger, you know, when it comes to allergies and stuff. And then we've got carrots. Carrot will also help to cleanse your eyesight as well. And I think those are the three major you know, kind of foods that I've been told and I've tasted, and now I'm sure that they really help with eyesight.
Do we have alternatives? I mean, obviously we have alternatives to glasses. We have contacts and different other things, like you mentioned, the eye drops.
Right.
So at what point, or depending on how far this defect has gone, does someone really get to know that at this point, or at this point, I mean, actually at this point, it could be glasses, at this point, it could be contacts, at this point, it could be eye drops? Let me start with you, Oliver.
The best thing is, you know, that's why it is advised to visit, you know, an eye specialist at least once a year. So like do frequent vision test or eye checkup. So meaning to know the condition and from where it is, you know, from where it's starting to where it's going. And simply we have other defects like glaucoma and you know, cataracts that we literally can push you to get a surgery in the later days, or maybe when they get serious, you know. And yeah, with an eye specialist, they will literally advise on how to go about it. If on this stage, what do you need? Is it an eye drop? At this stage, what do you need? Is it glasses? Is it contact lenses that will help you right now? Or maybe it's a surgery. So all that you can get it if only you get frequent vision test.
Yeah, I ask that because there are those that at some point would say, I think at this point I'm tired of wearing glasses, so I want to wear contacts. And we have those that actually just wear them for beauty purposes.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And it's not upon, you know, though eyewear is also a fashion you know, item when it comes to, you know, style, but you know, at the end of the day, some people do not wear glasses because they want to, but because they have to when it comes to, you know, prescription glasses, you know. So they are doomed to wear glasses. Maybe for some people it's a burden. Some people, they started wearing glasses when they were still maybe very young,
so they're tired, and
so they're tired of them, and it's not at their disposal to claim or maybe to decide that from today I start wearing, you know, contact lenses, or I want to do one thing or the other. But it's upon the, you know, the advice of the eye specialist or the professional qualified optometrists, opticians, or maybe let me say ophthalmologists to decide that at this particular, you know, rate or at this particular stage, what you need is this. Then from that advice, you can, you know, take it in, sorry, and then you know, evaluate, and then why not put it into practice.
So this is why it's important to actually go for those checkups and do them regularly and frequently. Do we have different forms of glasses, and what are they depending on which defect, Roseline?
Right. Yes, we do have different types of glasses. We have the single focus lenses that only you can see only, you know, one. Basically one focus, if I may say that. And then we have what we call bifocals and progressives. So to explain bifocals and progressives are usually worn mostly by people over the age of 40 to be able to help them to see from far and to see from near as well. There's a problem that the condition that Oliver mentioned earlier called presbyopia, which happens to people from the age of 40 and above, in that the lenses inside their eyes become less flexible such that they cannot adjust their vision according to distance. So they can see far very well, but they cannot see close, and that's why you find them when they're reading the newspaper or they're using their phone, they have to take it a bit further to be able to see, because they're using their distant vision and not their near vision. So now bifocal lenses, I'm sure you've probably seen them around. They have like a line that you can clearly see center. Exactly. There's a segmentation. There's one part and then there's another part at the bottom. So the part at the bottom is supposed to help them to see from close, right, when they're reading, because you know it's like right at the bottom.
Is this why you see them like sometimes do something like this?
Exactly. and then we have the upper part that they can use when they're driving, when they're walking, basically to be able to see things from far. And then the other option is progressive lenses. Again, also worn by people with presbyopia who are above the age of 40. And the only difference between the bifocals and the progressives is that line. So the progressives will still be able to see far and near as well. The lenses are adjusted that way, but there's no line. It's kind of just smooth. It just looks like your lenses. You won't be able to tell whether this person has presbyopia or not. So those are the different types of lenses. And then when it comes now to coatings, the coatings usually depends on the kind of problem that the person has. So we have our basic anti-glare coating that usually helps reduce glare on surfaces, reduces that reflection, and then there is the photochromatic lenses, and the photochromatic lenses usually help people with photosensitivity. sensitivity. So you may have noticed, like, some people, they cannot tolerate walking outside in the sun. Like, when they're walking out, I am one of those people. When I'm walking outside in the sun, I have to be squinting the whole day. My eyes are already small,
but you can see well.
So exactly, I can see well, but but with that, because of that light, I have to squint when I'm walking outside, and because of that, I have to wear sunglasses to help minimize that light. So we have photochromatic lenses that usually tint when you go outside in the sun to reduce that light, right? And then when you're indoors, they are clear. They are usually activated by the UV rays coming from the sun, and that's why, because when we're indoors, there's no UV rays, and then the lenses become clear. So those are especially for people with photosensitivity or light sensitivity. Then the last option is the blue light blocking lenses, which are worn especially by people who use their screens a lot, which nowadays is pretty much everyone. Phones, TVs, computers, everything. And what they do is they filter out the blue light emitted by these screens to make it, comfortable for the user to use that screen for long periods of time.
All right. So when you talked about those lenses, even the photochromatic. This is why we see them sometimes change color.
Yes.
They will turn to dark blue depending.
Exactly.
Again, on that lenses bit, then does it mean that depending on age, is it a dependent on age that particularly a child at this age could wear this when you're older, mid-age? Or
not necessarily. The lenses, the different coatings especially that I mentioned, it's not about age, it's about your problem.
Okay.
Right? I have photosensitivity, so I wear photochromatic lenses. Maybe you have short-sightedness, but you have no problem with light, so you can just wear clear lenses that do not tint. It depends on the problem that the person has. You can have even progressives and bifocals that I explained earlier be photochromic, because the person wearing them, not only do they suffer from not being able to see near and not being able to see far, but they also have a photosensitivity problem. So they have lenses that are going to help them with all their problem. The photosensitivity, the seeing far, the seeing near.
So it's no preserve of age, just depends on the issue.
Not necessarily.
And this perhaps why some of them really costly, some of them are not quite.
Yes.
Depending on also the different varieties of issues that your eye has.
Exactly.
When it comes to that lenses bit, Oliver, what is the recommended time to be changing your lenses or glasses altogether? After how long and why?
Yeah, so some people wear glasses, as I said, because they are fashion accessories. But for others, it's a must to wear them, and also depend on their pockets. Today, if they tell you to as a Kenyan who's just trying to survive, let me say that if you are to change your clothes, so you look at your pocket and say that at this time I need to change my wardrobe. Same thing also with glasses when it comes to fashion. Okay, so you can say, okay, I have the money, so what I need is be changing glasses literally depending on how I dress maybe, or how I conduct myself. And then number two option is to check in again with the eye specialist. And sometimes your eyes, with time, the condition can get worse, and then the glasses that you were wearing could not contain the kind of new prescription that you are having. So literally it will help you to, when going to the optometrist, and or optician or ophthalmologist, they will let you know that it's now time to change your lenses. It's not time to change your glasses. So literally that.
So basically, every year when you go in for your checkup, right? Oliver mentioned earlier that you need to go in at least once a year to see your eye care professional.
Yes.
So it's at that point that they determine the lenses that you have, are they still serving you, or do you need to change them? So ideally, it's advised that you change your lenses at least once a year, every year.
And that's why we cannot have emphasis on the fact that it's very important to actually go for these checkups.
Yeah.
But what usually happens, because you've mentioned somewhere while you're explaining the time frame that one needs to take to perhaps change their lens if they want to, and you mentioned that sometimes the condition might get worse. What usually happens for someone to get at that point? Because this is someone that is wearing the glasses, they have been doing that, and they do not operate without them. So it's like taking drugs. You religiously and generously do that, but still that condition gets worse and worse at some point that even you can get to go for a surgery. What usually happens in that scenario?
There's age factor, let me say that. And number two, let me say, if you were working before before COVID-19 hit, and you were working maybe, let me say, 4 to 3 hours, on your computers, but now that COVID has hit, COVID hit, since the COVID hit, you're working longer hours and you're working from home. Instead of spending 2 hours, 3 hours to your computers, you are now spending 8 hours on your computers.
Okay.
So literally, and if you had lenses that could only take care of you, of your eyes rather, for only 2 to 4 hours, let me say that, and now you will see yourself being exposed more. And then the type of lenses you might have been having maybe could have been anti-glare. But right now, once the condition, you spend more time on your computers, I think now it's 8 hours, maybe you will need blue block lenses when it comes to the quad, and that's one. So at the age factor, when you are 20 years, maybe let me say 27, 28, or maybe your vision is a little bit, a little bit clearer than what you will be able to see when you are above 40 or something. So by the time you hit 40, you will see that by that time you will start normally, and then you start putting it here, then it's still going further and further when it comes, depending on your age and also the genetic, as you said. The more you are with the family that you normally wear glasses, and it's more likely that you will get those conditions, and those conditions, if they are not prevented, they will worsen.
But also what you have to keep in mind is that glasses, they are a tool to help you see better. They don't actually change your anatomy. They don't change your eyes, if I may say that. So our bodies are growing every day. Your eyes will still keep growing. You get? So the glasses are just there to serve as a tool to be able to adjust your vision and to be able to see from far. So your eyes, whatever is happening in the background will still keep happening, and that's why from time to time you need to change your lenses, because your body, your eyes need a better prescription to be able to see, to help you see from far. I think the misconception that people have is that glasses are just going to fix, your vision. They just help to correct it. They help to help you to see near or far, but they don't change whatever is happening in your body.
So it's like the misconception surrounding glasses is like they will heal me.
Yeah, that is not true, unfortunately.
When I wear these glasses for like 2 years, I wouldn't need to wear them anymore because now I'll be good. That is the misconception surrounding.
It is, and it's a it's a problem, because you will find people who truly believe in that, and they truly think I only need to wear these glasses for 1 year.
I believed so to some extent, because for the longest time in my life I wasn't wearing glasses up until recently.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to disappoint. I'm really sorry to disappoint. I wish that was the case.
And actually I realized, like, the more I keep wearing, it's like the more I keep not seeing well, the moment I remove them.
So what happens in that case, actually, it's something that can be explained, because what happens in that case is how you were seeing before you used to wear your glasses. To you, that seemed to be the normal.
Yeah.
Like, that seemed to be the normal. However, when you went in for the checkup, you realized it is not normal, and that you can actually see better with the help of glasses. So your eyes were struggling before you started wearing glasses, but they used to think of that as the new normal. Then you get your glasses and your vision is adjusted and your eyes are no longer straining anymore. They are relaxed, very comfortable. You can see very well with your glasses. So when you remove your glasses now, your eyes go back into how it was before, and they do not like it.
What is this? What is happening?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about, again, something that I've also witnessed over time, especially for people that have worn glasses for a very long time. Either their eyes will pop out, or just when they remove their glasses, like you don't see their eyes anymore. They have just gone inside kabisa, or they pop out. What usually happens?
What do you mean pop out?
It's like, how would I explain it? They're not as normal as how they were before.
I think I know what you mean. It's something that people are always afraid of,
is it
especially when they start trying glasses. To be honest, it's not something that you can actually explain, because it's not like glasses are going to do something to your body that is going to make your eyes.
So is it like another misconception?
Probably, yeah. I think I would say that, because there's actually no an
but you've seen, now you're getting the question.
There's no actual explanation behind it. It's just it happens, I guess. It doesn't happen to everyone, so that means it's not necessarily related.
Well, when you're
now you're getting it, what I was saying.
When you're used to one environment, let me say that you feel comfortable. Let me say, when you are coming from outside where there's sunlight and you are directly sent into a room which is dark, what will happen that from the time you leave that the sunlight environment, going to that room, you probably see nothing until you settle. And it's the same thing coming from a darker room, going outside. From the time you step outside, you will see that sunlight will hit you, and then you will squint for I don't know how many seconds for that, and until your eyes now will get comfortable. The same thing also with people who wear glasses. When your eyes are used to one environment, one condition, seeing this particular way, and then you remove them, they will have to adjust. Then it takes a little bit of seconds or minute, then your eyes can get to the normal state.
The normal state.
Yeah.
I felt like it was important for me to ask, because when we were beginning this conversation and you're talking about how the numbers are rising and they are expected to continue, I felt like this is just some of those misconceptions that make people to not go for checkups, because what if they detect I have an eye problem, then I have to wear glasses, then this has to happen to me. So altogether, I just won't go. You get what I'm saying?
I do get what
Glasses
you're saying.
also can work as a preventive measure, literally. And one time I was literally riding across town, and just a kid, I don't know, they were playing, and then just the guy alirusha nini mawe, then it hit one person high. So my thought was, if that person were wearing glasses, that Kamawe couldn't have hit him. And it's a preventive measure whereby you can go across anything that could have come directly to affect your eyes, and then glasses can also protect you from there. And we got another testimonial from one of our patients, let me say that, they were involved in a car accident, but simply because he was or she was wearing glasses, and then those glasses protected her from getting the heat of one portion of the glass of the car,
and affecting the eyes altogether.
Literally. So it was but the only good thing is like the glasses fall off, and then they remained intact, no scratch, nothing. And that was one of the best testimonial that we've had.
Wow, that was good and beautiful, even giving us testimonials, especially for when it comes to just ensuring that we keep checking our eyes. And even from the first part where you mentioned whether you are feeling sick or not, it is a regular basis. It is necessary. It is important. And I think that's a good place to end this conversation. I believe that our viewers have become enlightened, and even just trying to deal with the misconceptions surrounding glassware and eye care altogether. All right, so I have been speaking to Roseline Kilonzo. She is the expansion manager at Lapaire East Africa, which is an eye care company, as well as Oliver Mwanko, a PR and communications officer at the same company. They have been talking to us about eye care and what you can do as a Kenyan to just understand the whole dynamic surrounding eye care and what to do if you are diagnosed with such kind of a disease. This is how you bring this segment to a close, and ultimately, good morning, Kenya. Till tomorrow, I'm Doreen Arange Okelo. Have a beautiful Tuesday morning.
Thank you.